So hey everyone, Stephanie here. And so today I'm going to be doing our lesson 1 about our treble clef, which is the right hand. So of course, later on we'll be connecting things together, but I like to start off with kind of the harder things first because this will help you understand other things a lot more. And I found that with when teaching piano, a certain order worked a lot better for some, and others like a different order worked. So of course, if this isn't working for you, just wait for other videos and see what will work best for you. And I can also try to give different ways of memorizing and learning these things because with my experience as a piano teacher, I know that some kids learn differently with more personalized memorization tactics or more generalized. So I'm going to try to really broaden that learning horizon. So the first thing that I need to talk about is that our letters. And so obviously we have our alphabet, A through Z, but in music, we start with C, then go to D, E, F, G, A, B, and then we repeat. And so this is a repeat sign that I just drew right there. That's something we'll come to a little later on, but it just tells us to go back to the beginning. So basically, this is a little bit of a piano. We have like 88 keys, of course. So right here we see that we have 1, 2. So we have a 2 group of black keys, and then we have 3 black keys together. So this is going to be easy for you to memorize because you just got to remember that the 2 keys, you're going to have C, D, and E. While our 3 black keys right here, we're going to have F, G, A, A, and B. And then it just repeats. So then our C will end up being right here, and then it'll continue on. Okay, so next we're going to talk about our lines. So this is something that's a little more tricky, but once you get that memorization, you got it. So we have 5 lines in total. Okay, so our first line at the bottom is going to be E, then we have G, B, D, and F. So I always give a couple options for anyone who tries to learn these. I'll go with every good boy does fine, or you can even say every good boy deserves fudge. And one that I learned was every girl buys designer fashions. So this is when you can tailor it more to what you like and what you're used to. And it was, I first learned every good boy does fine, but as I got older, I was like, oh, I really like that every girl buys designer fashions because I just thought that was really cool. So you can obviously take it to what direction you want to go. But as long as you remember that we have E, then G, B, D, F. And really fast, you can kind of see how we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, but it seems that we're skipping. And I'll come to that in a little bit. How we have E, then we go to G, B, and then we go all the way back to D and F. So we'll come to that and what's going to happen, and that's going to involve our spaces here. So now we have our spaces, and we have 4 spaces. This one is the easiest to remember because all you have to remember is F, A, C, E, or face. That's it. Very simple. You always just have to remember right hand spaces or face. So we start with going from the bottom up. So we have F, A, C, E, of course. And then so now we're going to match that. So we have that C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And so we have our F, A, C, and then it goes back to E. So it's kind of skipping. And so we'll get to how that's going to line up with lines and spaces in just a little bit. So next we have our ledger lines. And this is where we're outside of the measure. So the measure is the 5 lines and 4 spaces. So we can have notes above the line and below the line. So let's take a quick memory. We have E, G, B, D, F, and F, A, C, E. So if we take a look, we have C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. So if we start with E and we go space, line, etc. So we're going E, F, G, A, B, C, D, and repeating. But obviously there's going to be a lot more notes. We have 88 keys, so obviously there's going to be some more notes we have to read. And that's why we go down in the ledger. So the ones that I focus on in the beginning lessons, it's just the first three that you're really going to see, which is middle C. It's going to have one line. So just imagine this is like a sixth line. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just remember we have a sixth imaginary one. And then we have D, which is right under the E. And of course we have our E. And so of course we'll go with the top, but we're going to stick with just our C, D, and E for now. So now when we have a ledger, we can go all the way down here to the sixth imaginary line. So now we're going to learn how to draw a treble clef. This is kind of, once you get the hang of it, it's a lot of fun to do because I love doing it over and over again, and it's something that I always did just to have fun. But I'll show you the way that I learn, and maybe it's not working out for you, so I have other ways that you can draw a treble clef, and you can see that I tried to draw them. I'm just used to the classic way that I've learned it. So first we have the one that I learned. So first I do a J with a little bit of a curve. Then a half circle on the right. The left side has a bigger half circle. And then we're just going to connect by going in a curve. So what I want you to do is to practice this. And first try to get like you're doing it part by part, like that. And then when you get used to it, you can do one fell swoop like I do. Or you can also do it as, let me change colors. You can start from the curve up and around. So we start with a curve, we swing around and around. I know, and there's some with that can do the curve. This one I'm not very good at, but you can do the curve starting from the inside and going and ending here. So you find what is best for you, whether it's the way that I do it, if it's starting with the curve or starting with the J. Find what works best for you. Obviously, this one does not work for me. So you just do what's best for you. So now we're going to put all this together. So I'm going to use blue for my lines. So we'll use red for our ledger. And that's supposed to be a little bit more under. There we go. And now I'll use my lines for E, G, B, D, and F. And for our spaces, we're going to have F, A, C, and E. And of course, like this is just a rough drawing. Of course, it's going to look prettier, but this is just to get the general idea. So we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. So now we're seeing that pattern of our C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C starting in like consecutively instead of like C, E, G. Now we're seeing it all together, lines, spaces, and ledger for it to go to C all the way up. And then later on we'll talk about the ledgers that go up here, but those are a little later. That's something more advanced. But for right now, we just need to know our two ledgers right here, and then our lines and spaces over there. So here's some fun homework that you can do, just like 5 minutes a day. It's not that much. So what you can do is practice your memorization with E, G, B, D, F. So like in your head, just say, okay, so with the treble clef lines, we start bottom up, and it's going to be E, G, B, D, F, or every good boy does fine. Whatever helps you study. And then just remember that treble clef spaces, we have F, A, C, E. It's starting from the bottom to the top. So when you think about this later on, just say, okay, treble clef spaces, we're going to start bottom up, so it's going to be F, A, C, E, face. And I also think it's a great idea to practice drawing your treble clefs. Like if you are working on homework for school, or you just have some downtime and you have some scratch paper, just start drawing out some treble clefs and just fill the page with these pretty little treble clefs. I used to do that all the time, and it really does help. And I'm probably going to be doing that myself, doing the other versions that I try to show you today. So that'd be a lot of fun to practice that. And then I also suggest drawing out and filling the measure and filling it in. So a way to do that is to just draw 5 lines, because of course our measure is 5 lines and 4 spaces, so you just need the 5 lines. So practice drawing the 5 lines. Then add a treble clef. And then what I suggest is just drawing them in. So first maybe do the lines and then fill it in. Okay, so this is E, G, B, D, and F. And then doing the same thing for the spaces. It's not that perfect, but you'll get the gist. And then we have our spaces. And fill those in. And try to quiz yourself. Because the best way to learn music is through memorization, but also take that memorization into learning and applying that. So I always say memorize, 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 so then you can apply it. So that's my biggest tip for you guys with this first lesson. Memorize these tactics, memorize these ways of remembering the note names, because this will help you on where like later on you're reading music and you see maybe a quarter note on the 3rd line, you're like, oh, I know that's a quarter note B. So it's really going to help you out. So that's all I have for you today for our lesson 1, all about our treble clef and our treble maker actually. So just remember our treble clef is the right hand. So it'll be on the piano from middle C going up to those higher notes. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And stay tuned for more lesson videos. Like next time is all about that bass, so our left hand. Also stay tuned for other songs that I will post. I have been posting my own piano songs where I have been playing covers like Rewrite the Stars from The Greatest Showman or Zero to Hero from Disney's Hercules. So stay tuned from all of that, and I'll see you guys next time.